Today I'm going to share 3 things that you really need to think about if you're considering selling. Let's talk about it. Hey everybody, it's Rosemary Lewis with eXp Realty, and today I'm going to share with you 3 things that you need to consider if you're thinking about selling. I know you're nervous about it. We are going to get right into it, but before we do, you know what I need you to do. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel. That way, every time I post a video, you will know all about it. And give your girl the thumbs up, okay? Let's let all the homies at YouTube know that you actually want to see my videos because I'm your homegirl and I am bringing you the deets. So let's get into it. Unless you have been under a rock for a while, you might already know that we are experiencing a very aggressive housing market. In many parts of the country, especially here in the far north Dallas suburbs where I serve, we are experiencing a seller's market. And that pretty much means that there is more demand for homes than there is supply. And while that seems like it's just a wonderful thing for sellers, I know that if you are considering selling your homes, there are a lot of looming questions and things that you're just considering, and I'm here to help you with that. Here are 3 things that I want you to consider. The very first thing that I really want you to think about if you are just really kicking out the idea of selling is really understanding your equity position. Y'all, I'm telling you, I was just looking at some numbers. I live in the prosperous Salina area, and I was just curious. I mean, I'm a real estate agent. I am working in this market, and I know that it has gotten aggressive and the prices have appreciated a great deal in a very short amount of time. Here's what I mean about that appreciation. In Prosper alone, the average sales price from 2021 to 2022 in the month of January has increased over 60%. Now in Salina, they are not far behind us. The average sales price has increased over 40% in Salina, Texas. So what does that mean? Yes, it does mean, that buyers are having to pay more for the homes, but that means that for those of you who have been living in your homes, probably just for a short amount of time, you have gained a lot of equity in a short amount of time. And your equity is your power. So I encourage you to reach out to a local real estate agent. Of course, if you are looking or if you're selling in the far north Dallas suburbs, I am your homegirl, Rosemary Lewis. And let's just really have a conversation about what you could stand to walk away with in the event that you decide to sell your house. Recently, I had one of my home buyers that bought a home from me a couple years ago reach out to me just so we could explore the numbers. And they were amazed because in just 4 years, they're going to stand to net multiple 6 figures by selling their home. And for them, that's going to make a big difference in paying for college and doing other things that they want to do. And the home really isn't serving them anymore anyway because their family dynamic is changing. So I'm going to encourage you, let the very first step be is to really understand exactly what is your equity position because it may be way more than you think. Okay, so let's talk about the second tip because I already know what you're saying. Okay, Rosemary, sure, I know that I can sell my house, but where am I going to go? Now, I'm going to be the first to be honest with you and say, yes, this is a very aggressive market as a buyer. But once you understand your equity position and you really get an idea of what you get to walk away with, your realtor will be able to help you come up with a strategy where you will be able to compete, okay, to get the home that really serves you, but also where it makes sound financial sense for you. I recently had another client and we really looked at the numbers, right? And we talked to a lender, we looked at the comps in the area, what they would stand to walk away with. And even considering this aggressive market and what it would look like for us to compete, they still would come out ahead for a few factors. One being that now with the money that they would get from selling their home, they're going to have more than enough money to put down on a home of their dreams, right? And the rates are actually lower now than they were when they purchased their home. So in actuality, they're not paying much more monthly in order to get into a home that makes more sense for them. And then here's a cherry on top. they're making so much for their home where they're in a position to compete, but also in a position to put some of their proceeds from the sale of their home up. So that's why, y'all, I don't want you to just assume that you're not going to be able to make a smart decision, right? Or a decision that works for you, but get with a professional real estate agent that'll really be able to help you lay out all of your options so that you can see how to best allow your equity to serve you. Here's the third thing I need you to think about, because I know you, I know what you're saying. Okay, well, what if I sell my home? I know that they're not taking offers that are contingent, meaning that I have to sell my home, so I don't want to be homeless. And guess what? You do not have to be homeless. One of the most beautiful things about a seller's market is that buyers are really, really flexible. And in them being aggressive to get your home under contract, a lot of times buyers are willing to give you what's called a lease back. Now, what a lease back is an amendment or an addendum, that we would add to the contract. And that addendum basically says when you have to give up possession of the home. That amount of time is negotiable between you and your buyer, but as a seller, a lot of times we're in position to ask for what we need to ensure that you don't have to move twice. Now, I will tell you, I am no genie, right? I don't have a crystal ball. I can't predict the future, but I have been successful in negotiating leasebacks that have made sense for my sellers, so they didn't have the stress of moving 2 times. But let's be honest, y'all, because this has happened with a couple of my sellers too. Because of what they stood to gain for the sale of the house, they were okay being uncomfortable. You know, I remember one of my clients said, you know what, I can do hard things. And if I need to live somewhere temporarily for 4 months because of what I'm going to make on the home while my other home is becoming available or anything like that, then that is what I'm willing to do. So I really want you to think about these things as you are considering the possibilities of selling your home. If you are in the far North Dallas suburbs and you really just want to think about what your options are and talk to a real estate professional, I would be honored to have a conversation with you just to help you figure out what your equity position is and what might be the best next steps. Go on over to my website, rosemarylewis.com, and at the top left-hand corner, click the Sellers tab, and we can get started today. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, what are you doing with your life? Go ahead and subscribe. I've already told you that I hear you. You have told me you want to know more about Texas. Everything's bigger and better in Texas. At least that's what a lot of people say. So I'm going to be bringing you more videos to just highlight the area that I live in, love, and serve in so that you will know more about the far North Dallas suburbs. Talk to you soon.